I'm June Oscar. I'm the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Social Justice Commissioner, and I'm the first Aboriginal woman to come to this role in 30 years. As the first Aboriginal woman to be appointed to the role of the Social Justice Commissioner, I am acutely aware of the need to protect, uphold, and realise the rights of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Women are the ones that keep families together, and so therefore it's critical that we support women in their roles as nurturers, as providers. And it is women that encourage and continue to mentor and give confidence so that young women grow to become confident women in their roles into the future. I firmly believe that the strongest voice, the voice that provides us with solutions and the best possible pathway forward, is the voice of lived experience. That is why in 2017, the first thing I did as the Social Justice Commissioner was to launch the Wiyi Yani project, meaning women's voices in my language, Bunaba. Thank you, Chair. Distinguished guests, I am Australia's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Social Justice Commissioner. Since February this year, I've been travelling across Australia to hear directly from Indigenous women and girls about their strengths, challenges and aspirations for change. This project is called Wiyi Yani, which means Women's Voices in my Bunaba language.
Wiyi Yani is a women's project that is happening now. I am so privileged and I'm very, very grateful to have the opportunity to be the ambassador for this project.
I'm very excited about being part of this project, and I'm grateful to have been invited to be an ambassador, because I have long felt that women coming together, forming collaborations and networks is an unrecognised resource. Because when we do come together, collectively, we bring vision, compassion and logic. I believe that the conversations that are planned for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women nationally will see new strategic directions and actions that will impact on Australia for many years to come.
One of the important and key areas that we needed to also include in this national engagement were the voices of women in the Torres Straits.
With education comes knowledge, with knowledge comes power, power to speak and be heard. Because sometimes we can speak, but we're not being heard. So it's good that you learn to do that, maintain your culture, know who you are in the Miriam structure, your place there, but at the same time, show my daughters, show my nieces that we're more than just mothers. We can do much more than that.
The women I meet are strong and resilient. They tell me that they want to have a say in decisions that affect their lives, but they also tell me that their voices are still not being heard about their ideas for solutions. One of the pillars of the candidacy of Australia for the Human Rights Council was to advance the human rights of Indigenous peoples. I encourage the Australian government to show leadership, committing to the implementation of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples in Australia, and supporting constitutional reform which delivers on the aspirations of our people for self-determination and freedom from discrimination.
My great hope for this project is that when all the voices that are shared around this nation are brought together and presented to government, that they are finally heard, so that we can actually have a future that doesn't necessarily look like what we've done in the last couple of decades, where the voices were ignored.
So welcome everyone to the launch of the landmark report, Wiyi Yani, Women's Voices, Securing Our Rights, Securing Our Future 2020 report.
I believe it is this report
armed with the voices of our women and girls, that has to be an unstoppable force. Wiyi Yani sets it out clearly. We resolve issues of disconnection by reconnecting, by seeing the world in its fullness again and not divided into fragmented parts. So my message to First Nations women and girls everywhere, and carried throughout this report, is aim high, be ambitious, and know that your actions don't just matter, they are pivotal in making the world of tomorrow the world we want, absolutely deserve, and have a right to. I'm excited to see all of these women who will share in this space for the next week, and to reconnect with so many of the women I met with during the consultations.
To bring everyone together in a shared space, hear about the work that women are doing on the ground and the incredible initiatives and organisations that they're leading. I'm just so excited to hear from all the women and to be in a shared space with one another.
This is an incredible moment for the future. It's the culmination of a lot of work. Obviously there's been years of consultation leading up to the report. This summit is the culmination of that. But really we see it as a springboard for what's to come.
Being able to explore and understand what our priorities are for us as First Nations women. Where do we fit? How do we exercise our rights? How do we exercise the things that are natural within us as really strong, matriarchal Black women? That is what this work represents. It represents strength.
One of my favourite quotes is this: "May we be people that plant seeds which grow trees in whose shade we may never sit under." And when I think about this summit, and when I think about what these women are doing, these pioneers, these trailblazers, they've been at this for a very long time. And the seed that they're planting and the trees that they're helping nurture to grow, they're not just going to influence our generation, but 7 generations into the future. And so when I think about the work that they're doing, this is imperative work, and this is legacy work, and it's generational changing work. And so I'm really excited to see, I guess, the legacy effects of what this is going to do for Black women all over this nation, and how it's going to continue to inspire and empower Black liberation, our sovereignty as First Nations women, and how we're just unstoppable. We're going to keep flying forward.
Australia doesn't have a national framework that responds to First Nations women and girls, and this is our opportunity to make that happen. And so I'm really looking forward to bringing all of our voices together, developing this framework and setting up the First Nations Gender Justice Institute.
So it's critical that we have mechanisms in place such as the National Framework for Action, which the Institute will be guided by. So the Institute will provide a mechanism for the continued presence of our voices on the things that matter.
We know that we need the women on the ground in all of those different communities, in their different roles, in their different sectors, to be the people leading change. The work and the continued conversation out of the summit will be one that we see show up in a whole range of different places, and I think that the Gender Institute is going to be well positioned to support that moving forward.
Well, I hope that this is a beginning point to the future years of strengthening our presence, strengthening the voices of our women and girls, and creating strong leaders for the continued advocacy and change makers that we really need to see leading. We're certainly ready, and now we're putting all of this into action.